Thank you, Darcy. I don't think you were talking about me. Today I'm going to talk about a simple idea about giving an advantage to the disadvantaged through education, and that is basically what the R.O.S.E program is all about. The Rotary Club of Eagle Hawk Orphan Student Education program came about basically because of a family holiday in Thailand in 1998. It seems a bit strange. But before we went on holiday, one of my fellow Rotarians said, why don't you visit the Pattaya Orphanage? Our club had been sponsoring the orphanage for quite a time, but I don't think he really knew where we were going in Thailand. We were going to Koh Samui, and he was talking about Pattaya. So anyway, at the end of our holiday, we decided to fly to Pattaya and visit the orphanage. And it was probably the best thing we ever did, because that has affected our lives for approximately 17 years. We met an amazing man, Father Ray Brennan, who was a very young priest from Chicago, was sent to Thailand to look after the disadvantaged. He realised after the Vietnam War days there was a need for an orphanage because of the unwanted babies. He started that orphanage. He is now recognised in Thailand for the work that he has done with the, not only orphanage, the disadvantaged, the handicapped, the home for street kids, elderly. He's just an amazing, amazing human being. He showed us through the orphanage. On that bottom of that slide there, his catchphrase was, "We never turn a needy child away." And that's basically exactly what they did. We went through the orphanage, but there was the nursery that really affected us. You saw all the cots lined up, the pink and blue cots, and with all the babies in them, sometimes 2 per cot, and little ones just wanting to be picked up and cuddled. I had to check Viv's backpack when we left because I thought she'd take one home. It was sad. But on leaving the orphanage, Father Ray said to us, "I'd love to send some of our senior students to Australia to learn English for 12 months, or 6 to 12 months. He valued education because it was the only way out for these young people. If they could go to Australia for 6 to 12 months, when they came back to Thailand, they were almost guaranteed of good job prospects and or better education opportunities." On the way to the airport, I said to Viv that couldn't be too difficult. How wrong I was. I took the idea back to our Rotary Club, and they agreed the idea was a great idea and wanted to bring his idea, Father Ray's idea, to fruition. We needed an educational provider that would have the same philosophy as us, that would want to help these disadvantaged children. We searched locally to Melbourne, to Geelong, and even interstate to Sydney to try and find an educational provider that had an ESL course or a suitable course for these young people. But it was always the bottom line. And the bottom line for us was cost prohibitive. We didn't want to bring one child in as per the normal Rotary Youth Exchange. We wanted to bring multiple kids in and give them an advantage. Fast forward 5 years of frustration, we needed a window of opportunity. Excuse me. That window of opportunity came about when a new member to our club, who's now the Mayor of Bendigo, Councillor Peter Cox, came to our club. He was the CEO of FEO and also the educational provider called On Track. Peter heard what we were trying to do and suggested that he had a course which may be suitable, hadn't been activated, but if he activated it, would it help? I said, thank God, and I contacted the orphanage, and they then set about selecting students because we thought we had the program ready to go. We put a lovely article into the local paper, and we had an overwhelming response for host families. We selected 10 host families for the 5 students that they had selected. We thought that was appropriate. Unfortunately, a few weeks after we had let the orphanage know, and Father Ray also knew that his idea was coming to fruition, he passed away. He had been ill for some time. There was a lot of mourning in and around Pattaya in Thailand over his passing, and it was very difficult to get anything happening. From this end, we continued to prepare for those children to come into Australia, but it was very difficult. Then we were told, and it was the Australian Immigration Department that held it up, they wouldn't allow the kids to get a visa. And the reason for that was the course that we had, or on-track were providing, was not internationally accredited, was only nationally accredited. And our own government wouldn't allow kids to come in, which I found rather strange. Anyway, there was a person who lived very close by in Castlemaine, whose profession was going around the schools in Victoria to do R.O.S.E accreditation, and that basically means making schools accredited for international students. We met with him, and he was so sympathetic to the cause, could understand exactly what we were trying to do, understand Father Ray's idea. We were told by other institutions that if we could get this accreditation, it would take 12 months and it would cost a lot of money. This person, an incredibly caring person, had it through in a matter of weeks and at a very little cost to Rotary. As soon as that happened, we notified the orphanage, but they then applied for the visas, and the visas came through straight away. And a really interesting thing was, we had a lot of people everywhere trying to help this program, including the Australian ambassador in Bangkok. He called those kids to the embassy and presented the visas personally, which I thought was a lovely way to start the program. On Mother's Day 2004, the first group of 5 kids, and Father Ray called them kids, they were his kids, and that was the start of the R.O.S.E program. It was rather surreal to think that those host parents, especially the host mums, received a new son and daughter on Mother's Day. We have had quite a few host parents take these children on consecutively. They've hosted several children, and we have to acknowledge, without the host parents, this program would not work. And we have had 19 children to date, and they have grown in skills, in English skills, but also life skills, and living with a family. Girton Grammar School came on board and took over from On Track and have provided a caring, holistic approach to the education of these young children, which is greatly appreciated. Girton have also offered 3 of our children 4-year fully paid scholarships if they wish to do their VCE. There's no pressure on these kids to do anything because they're coming from different circumstances. The first girl that was offered her the scholarship completed her VCE in 2011 and was then accepted and into the La Trobe University degree of graphic design, which she accepted. The other 2 returned home before finishing their VCE. One completed year 10 and the last one completed year 11, and they go back to Bangkok to do year 12, and the last one wants to do nursing at university. We have had 19, as I said, 19 students to date. 10 have gone on to university, some have already graduated. They have graduated or are doing courses in language. The first girl in the group of 5 graduated with honours in English, Chinese and Thai, which I just think is absolutely brilliant. And one of the boys in IT, and the other one in psychology. We've had them graduate, as I said, in IT and various other courses, but one young girl that came out, I think it was 2007, she came from the Home for Street Kids, which is the Father Ray Home for Children now. And it amazed me that she graduated in law, which I think is incredible. And this is where the celebration of youth comes in. These kids have absolutely done an amazing job. And everybody that's been involved with these young people, I think, should be congratulated as well and celebrate the success of these young kids. And that slide there shows the first group of 5 returned home with great confidence. So basically, Father Ray's idea has worked incredibly well. Without the help of everybody involved, it wouldn't have worked. There is no reason why this program can't go into any other English-speaking country in the world, providing there are educational providers like Girton and On Track that have a caring, nurturing ethos and philosophy, and also a community to go with it. I just lost my place there. I'll just say that the R.O.S.E program is jumping sideways a little bit in that we are offering the program to other orphanages in other places. We have offered the program to an orphanage in Cambodia and also to East Timor, or Timor-Leste. We are doing a lot of work in Timor-Leste, and only a month ago the program offered a 6-year fully paid scholarship to one student to finish the last 2 years of secondary college and to go through the completion of a 4-year degree, whatever degree that student wishes to pick. And that includes accommodation and everything. So that in itself, I think, is a great thing. It is up to each one of us to be able to give an advantage to the disadvantaged, if we can, wherever we can. And in the words of the great Australian cricketer, whom I love, Maxie Walker, if you can, you must. Thanks.